let's get into it. So part one opens up with the Monitor narrating the beginning of the universe. Basically, Big Bang, but along with the Big Bang, the universe has started to divide like human cells, and that's how we get the multiverse. And it's like, then came the Age of Heroes, and we get a whole, like, montage of the various clips from the shows and all that stuff. And then what I like about it is it opens right off the bat with some cameos and setting the stakes for, we start things off with multiple universes get wiped out right off the familiar ones. First, we get, I wrote it all down. We get Earth 89, a.k.a. the Batman 89 movie universe.
Oh, is that what that... Oh, no way.
Yeah,
I didn't even catch that one.
Yeah, that's Robert Wool, who played Alexander Knox in the first one. Remember in the first one, he's the guy working with Vicky Vale.
Okay.
So if you love Batman 89, heads up, that universe is gone.
Keaton!
Yeah. No, we're never going to get that Batman Beyond movie with Keaton now. Fuck! No. Then we see Earth 9, a.k.a. the Titans universe, the new Titans show. That one gets wiped out.
Yeah, that was a cool little cameo. I didn't expect that. I was a little taken back by that.
There was a rumor back and forth whether or not they were going to be in it, and that's all I was expecting. That's all. It's a little quickie. Then Earth X gets wiped out, so we see the Ray flying over. And then finally, Earth 66, a.k.a. the Batman 60s television show universe. And we see Burt Ward walking his dog, Robin walking his dog, old man Robin walking his dog, in a shirt that is definitely 60s inspired and has the Robin colors on it. And he says, like,
Holy
crimson skies of death.
Holy crimson skies of death.
He's still got it. He's still got it.
Fuck yeah, dude! I was like, yes, that was the best way to start off this crossover.
I know. So then the next thing is we have Will Wheaton showing up as like a doomsday naysayer with a sign like the world's gonna end. And he gets attacked by that alien dragon thing from last season of Supergirl. That's like
the Komodo dragon that turns into an actual dragon.
Yeah. No, it's an alien. No, it's a fucking dragon.
It's a dragon.
Motherfucking Dragonborn's gonna fucking slay it and steal its soul any second now. But then Supergirl saves him. Being like, haha, he said Supergirl couldn't save us, and she just saved him.
And then she did, yeah.
But then the entire planet now has a massive earthquake. There's an earthquake planet-wide, and at first they're not sure what's going on, and then they find out. They see it. They see it on their satellite monitors. The antimatter wave crashing through the universe, and it's on its way to Earth. But before it hits Earth, it's going to hit Argo City, where we catch up with Superman and Lois Lane, who Lois is busting Superman's chops because he's having trouble changing their baby's diaper.
Tyler Hoechlin is great.
I love Tyler Hoechlin.
I know I've said that before, but he's fucking great.
I love him as Superman. I'm both excited and cautious for their Superman, their show, because him and Bitsy Tulloch, who plays Lois, who also I think she's a great Lois,
fantastic Lois.
Yeah, and of course, and obviously because her face, she's got a bit of a Margot Kidder look to her in the face, a bit of a Margot Kidder.
It's like Margot Kidder mixed with Terry Hatcher, I think.
Oh, that's not yeah.
Because there is some Terry Hatcher in there too, and she's got like the right spunk.
Totally.
For Lois Lane too.
Yeah.
So I thought that was she's also doing a fucking great job.
I know. I'm so excited for their show, right?
And they've like written her so well too. Yeah. Like in all these little crossovers, all these little moments with her, it's just like it's like you're constantly reminded that Lois Lane is a goddamn badass.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't fuck with her on any basis at all.
She gets a lot more screen time because last time we saw her was in Elseworlds. We only got a little bit of her, but it was they did a lot in a little bit of time. But anyway, they're on Argo City, and they're able to tell them that, okay, the antimatter wave is coming. You guys need to get out of there. And then we meet up with Supergirl's mom. She takes them to an escape pod, and it's reminiscent of when Superman left as a baby from Krypton before it was destroyed. They put baby Jonathan, which we've confirmed the name of the kid. The kid's name's Jonathan,
they did talk about that,
which is the name of Superman's current son in the comics that they've been focusing on for the past several years.
So that's the new Superboy, right?
That's the new Superboy. The other Superboys like Connor Kent and
Superboy Prime, who's kind of
dick.
Yeah, he's a super huge dick. Like if you don't pay attention to the comics, he's fucking crazy.
He's carved an S into his own fucking chest.
Yeah, like he's Looney Tunes, man. Like he's an OP character that's like. Nobody knows what the hell to do with him anymore in the comic books, but I don't think he's in the Arrowverse, which is probably for the better, I think.
Oh yeah, no, because he's based off like Golden Age Superman, so his powers are off the charts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so they get it's reminiscent of like Superman, leaving Krypton as a baby, blah blah blah. Argo City gets wiped the fuck out.
And for a minute, you're like, did they just kill
Yeah,
Superman?
yeah. Like no, wait.
What?
What kind of bullshit is this? It's like it was like Infinity War when they killed like Black Panther. I'm like, didn't you guys just make $1 billion off of that guy? He's coming back, right? Don't scare me like that, fucking CW.
It's like the Spider-Man moment where you're just like, no, I just started to love this character.
Yeah.
Why did you do this to me?
Oh my god! So Argo City gets wiped out. And then after we came back from commercial, Lila, Diggle's wife,
Right.
leader of Argus, appears as Harbinger, which she had been doing at the end of like other shows too, or at least in Arrow. She appears and she grabs the other characters. She grabs Oliver and Mia off Lian Yu. She grabs Barry as he's running through the city because they saw the wave coming towards Earth 1. Batwoman, she grabs Batwoman as she's like fighting some of the Wonderland gang. And then the Legends. The Legends is the fun because they're in the trivia.
They're in the trivia one, yeah.
And the guy running the trivia night is the actor who played what's his name? Arthur, the Tick's sidekick.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
the recent live action show, which I think got canceled, which I haven't seen, but I heard it was good. He was the trivia host, and then they got a trivia question wrong because they changed time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then yeah, the Janis Joplin song gets screwed up because of Ray Palmer.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about Legends. In season 1, they took time travel super serious, but as the show became more and more jokingly, like time was like whatever.
It'll fix itself.
We're the Legends.
It'll be fine.
We'll fuck it up and then we'll fuck it back down. It'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. But
I'm
anyway,
excited for that show.
yeah. So she gathers everybody up. So anyway, and she brings everybody back to Earth 38 in the middle of the DEO.
Which is Supergirl's Earth.
Supergirl's Earth. So now everyone's back on the Supergirl's Earth, which, man, I'm going to say this ahead of time. At the end of this, I hope they just merge Earth 1 and Earth 38 so we have to do this back and forth bullshit.
Yeah, I felt like that. Yeah, that whole, like, them taking the time to explain how Supergirl comes into these crossovers is so, I don't know, time-consuming and mildly pointless. Like, at this point, we get it. Yeah. So if they just merge them into one Earth, I think it'll just make things a lot simpler.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because originally Supergirl didn't start on the CW; it was on CBS. Yeah. So, and that's how they had the first. Well, yeah, and she had a crossover with Flash in season 1, so that's how they did the whole universe thing. In case,
right?
But
just in case they wanted to,
the ratings weren't good enough for CBS, but they were good enough for CW.
Well, it's because it's not an arbitrary cop show where things explode and they can push neoliberal agendas through television. So, anyway, that's just. I'm gonna throw a little bit.
Chris Mowens is cutting political commentary.
Sorry, I've
okay.
watched a couple of.
That's what he does. I know. But anyway, so they gather everyone together and they tell them hey, here's what's going on. Batwoman's of course is like, I don't know anybody here, and Supergirl's me, and he's like, you knew her for like 5 minutes, but then Batwoman's like, you're a woman good enough. So that's what it kind of felt like.
It did feel like it was a little bit like heavy-handed in the sense of like, there's no fucking way that she would take her mask off right away, right? Especially like if she's been groomed by any kind of Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Like any kind of Bruce Wayne would have been like, never take your mask off. Yeah. Like I was surprised as to how fast she did it. It just seems so out of character for someone that has that much trust issues.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could put it up to the fact that she's still young and naive, or you could put it up to the fact that they needed to move the plot along.
Yeah, I get it.
But anyway, so things go on. They're told about what's going on. We're going to mix up a few. Like, I'm not going to go exactly in order here. So we find out that the pod that Baby Superman was on, Baby Jonathan, Baby Soups. That's how I wrote them down in my notes. Baby Soups.
Super Baby.
Baby Soups. His pod was not only knocked off course, it was knocked off course into a wormhole to not only a different universe, but to that different universe's future. And it turns out it was the same future, the dystopian Star City that the Legends went to in their first season.
Oh yeah, but wasn't that Arrow, Diggle's kid?
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah.
Well, here's why they included this in this crossover. So when that came up, in Arrow, Diggle and Lila had a baby girl at first, and then Barry flashpointed her out of existence, and that's how they got the son.
That's how they got Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So in Legends, we meet Connor, but that Legends episode happened before Flashpoint. So people were going like, "Wait, don't Diggle and Lila have a daughter?" And then Flashpoint happened. It's now like, "Oh, now we got little JJ," and people are like, "But wait, in Legends, his name was Connor." And then Connor shows up in the Flash forwards in the last season of Arrow, and it turns out that Connor is not Diggle's biological son. He's the son of Iron Tiger that they adopted. But then people were like, why was he in that future then? Where's all this other stuff? Because now you've reestablished what the future of Star City is.
Right.
So basically, they brought this in to explain why none of that made sense. Well, you see, it wasn't the future. It was the future of a different universe. So now it makes sense. It's like, no, that brings up more questions. How did Rip not notice the Wave Rider went to a different universe? It's a time machine. They were displayed
Did
that
they not know how? Like, I feel like
nobody noticed.
What's the computer's name?
Oh,
Gale? No, it's not.
Gale.
I want to say Gale.
You
but
want
I know
to say
it's not Gale.
It's not Gale. It's somebody down the.
If you remember the computer's name on the time ship, leave a comment below because I can't remember it. Let's just call her Gale.
Call her Gale.
It feels like the computer feels like a Gale. Anyway, but like I feel like the computer would have known that they shipped it into another universe. Basically, what happened was in the comic books, whenever they do time travel shit, it always gets overly convoluted. Everybody gets confused, and then they have to retcon fucking all of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they attempted to do here, but it's like, no, fans remember, you guys, she's fucked up, and it might have just been lazy writing. And it's like, it's cool
a definite.
It was.
Yeah. So anyway, so Superman wants to go, but Oliver's like, the universe needs you. You need to stay here.
Yeah.
He listens to Oliver. So instead, Lois, Sarah, aka White Canary, and Brainy go there. They get the kid. Oliver shows up, but Oliver,
broken Oliver,
who doesn't look as old as he did in that previous episode on Legends. He looks like 10 years younger. But Connor's not there. But he doesn't remember bumping into Sarah before. He doesn't remember the whole that whole thing.
So that's my thing, right? Whenever I watched that part, I was like, oh, maybe they haven't traveled that far into the future, so maybe that's why he doesn't remember who Sarah is.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
They don't say that, but I would hope. No, because he's got the robot arm on, and he didn't put the robot arm till later in that.
Oh yeah.
So they just
so they just fucking forgot. Like,
there's no reason for him not to know. Even Sarah goes, "Don't you remember?" And he doesn't remember shit.
There's no reason for this to happen. You just gotta give him amnesia for the sake of giving him amnesia.
Yeah.
Fine. That's the one complaint with the Crisis. The first episode I had was just like, what the fuck is happening with the second? Like, I didn't understand why we needed that scene.
Neither do I. It has no purpose. There's no purpose in the story.
Yeah.
Because so far, I mean, maybe he still will, but that incarnation of Oliver has not come back yet. Yeah,
and it's just sort of this. It seemed like it was his point. For one, it was like, okay, so what the fuck do we do with Jonathan Kent in this universe that's being erased, right? Okay, so we'll just add a wormhole in there that goes to a different Earth in a different time, ? But
what they should have done is like have him land somewhere in Russia. Then they can do a Red Sun reference, and then we can move the fuck up.
That would have been great. Yeah, it would have been like, oh man, this could have been a disastrous thing, but communism. Oh no, and that would have been it. That would have, and then they rescued him from a fucking gulag or some shit. Yeah. You get to see White Canary do cool White Canary stuff, and then they could have utilized Brainy too. Like I feel like again, they're not utilizing Brainy for what he is.
Yeah, he didn't. All he did was get like Arrow Bolo whipped. That's all he got.
Yeah, and then he was like, "I'm just gonna stay here," and I'm like, "No, bro, you're like a level 10 intellect that has like crazy fighting skills. Also, you're a cyborg.
Yeah.
Like,
All right. Well, let's move on to something that I did kind of like. I think some people online haven't enjoyed. I kind of like this. Let's talk about Superman's on the balcony and he's kind of. I thought that was actually a little good scene where he's like,
great scene.
He's talking to Kara and he's like, he feels like he brought this on himself, like possibly losing Jonathan. Like he thought that, what was I expecting too much out of life? Having it all, a beautiful, loving, caring, intelligent wife, a son, a normal life on Argo. I thought I could get rid of the cape. Kara gives him a little pep talk. It's a nice little exchange. Part of me kind of wishes Oliver had to talk with him because he's the one who convinced him to stay. But it makes sense for Kara.
It makes sense for
That's
Kara.
just me being a little biased.
But here's the thing that I really like about that moment is Superman is constantly like this god figure, right? That like never, he can't be vulnerable. He's always this perfect character that's always kind of like on top of everything all the time, and he's poised and perfect. And this moment right here shows how fucking human he actually is. Which in the comic books there are a bunch of moments like that, and I feel like when they make I feel like some of the newer iterations of Superman have made this mistake that he is this perfect, like, godlike figure. And I feel like with the CW universes, they've done that with Kara. Like, they've made Kara the beacon of perfection. And, like, she can do no wrong, and she has no self-doubts, and she's, like, not vulnerable or anything. When it's like, no, I think what would give her character a little bit more dynamism is, like, just make her a little bit more human.
Yeah.
You know? They have a big deal about that.
They did give her this thing this season where, at the end of last season of Supergirl, where Lena Luthor, thinking that Kara is her best, closest friend, along with all the other people in that group. They're all friends. They all, like, love and care for her. And then she finds out that Kara is Supergirl and that she has a total design, and everybody else knows. James knows, Alex knew.
Yeah, and
Nia, Brainy, and nobody told her. So that was part of her setup. I like I said in my, but I haven't seen where that has gone all the way.
I mean, that's kind of the thing of like why Tyler Hoechlin is such a great Superman, because he delivers those human moments so well. And they look at someone like Supergirl, and the way that they've written her character is like this hyper, like unvulnerable, no weaknesses, and it's just like that's not a fun character for anybody to watch. Like, it's not fun to watch a character that you know is going to win. What's fun is for us to watch a character that has to overcome challenges, because we, as audience members, as real people, have to overcome challenges in our life. And if we can see that these characters can do it, art imitates life, and we feel better about that character. We feel more connected with that character, and we start caring about that character a lot more. And I feel like I cared about Tyler Hoechlin's Superman way fucking more.
Yeah. Well, here's the first time we saw him. We'll get back to Crisis in a minute. We're going on Tyler rant because we love Tyler. I've talked about him before.
He's great.
He's great. The first time we see him was a season 2 premiere of Supergirl, and he's in Clark Kent mode, and he's on the phone talking to Perry White, and he's nailing that Clark kind of like goof like where like Perry White, you don't know what he said, but he said something on the phone like no, Mr. White, no, that's not what I meant. He's nailing that kind of like vulnerable, just like he's nice and friendly and likes to say swell, and so he does. So he does a good Clark. We haven't seen much of his like Clark, because most times since we've seen him then, it's just him like around people who know he's Superman, so he's just been But I'm still excited for his show. Like I said, we said earlier, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited, cautiously optimistic about that show.
Yeah, because it's still the CW, because I talk about how I don't like how they've used him. It seems like weirdly at times they've used him to prop up Supergirl more, which I don't know why, because she's the star of her show. You don't need him to prop her up.
She's already kind of propped up in that show.
Yeah, because season 1 of Supergirl was about people constantly comparing her to Superman and her trying to show that she's a hero in her own right and she's not defined by her male counterpart. And then throughout later seasons, it seems like they've made her done things where Superman's literally said, "You are better than me. You are stronger than me."
Yeah, which just seems unnecessary.
Right, because then you're going against what you tried to set up in season 1. You're defining her by her male counterpart. So you're insulting Superman, and you're also insulting Supergirl at the same time.
Never made any sense to me why these kept
but anyway, let's get back to Crisis. We're going on because
I thought I loved that scene. I loved that scene where there and it was such a great scene to be like, that's so great that you feel so vulnerable about this and so guilty about this, but you're still there to fucking deliver. Yeah. Like you're still here to be like, you know what, the fucking universe is ending and I got a kid, and if I want to have a life with my kid, this is the life that I have to live with my family, and I'm gonna be cool with that. Like, it's such a great moment with him.
Yeah. So, yeah. So moving on. So we got this. So we got the gang on Earth 16 trying to get the baby, but then things start to get real. The antimatter wave is on its way. The Monitor placed a tower on Earth in
Quantum Tower.
Quantum
Is that what
Tower.
it's called?
In ancient times, and nobody just happened to have noticed this the whole time. Just shoots the fuck up out of the ground.
I felt like that part was very random.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's one thing I was saying about this first episode while I have it in mind. The part 1 of Crisis felt very rushed. The pacing on it felt very rushed.
It did. Yeah, a lot of stuff just happened, and everybody was just like, well, that's the thing that's happening. And it's just like, no, wait. There's so many questions.
So the Anti-Monitor, his Harbinger, a.k.a. Lila, tells him that his army of shadow demons are on their way to take out the tower, and so the antimatter wave can come over and crush it. A few things are going on right now. One, John Jones, a.k.a. Martian Manhunter, he's coordinating with all the alien refugees around Earth, telling them that we need to start getting everybody, humans and aliens, onto their various spaceships so we can get off Earth. Yep. And somebody's like, well, where are we going to go? The antimatter wave is destroying the whole fucking universe. Right. So they're like, we can build a transmatter portal to Earth 1 to get everybody to Earth 1. And that's when they got to go to Lena Luthor, who hates everybody right now. Which, here's the thing, I don't blame Lena for hating everybody. Since season 2, when they introduced her, they say like everybody she's ever been close to in her entire life has betrayed her. Her mom, her dad, her brother Lex, and this whole new family of hers just fucking betrayed her again. I'm on Lena's side.
I am honestly, I was too, and like the way that they've handled Lena in this new season of Supergirl, which I know.
I've given up on it.
It's just like they're just kind of shitty to her throughout this whole thing. Where I'm like, I get it. But you guys are kind of making your own demons.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are creating your own supervillain because of your own paranoias and, like, because you guys think that she's going to be Lex Luthor. So it's just, like, it's so... The way the way that they're writing the season, and maybe that's kind of the thing that they're going to address in the show later on. I don't know. I'm honestly, like, at this point, not sure if I'm going to keep up with Supergirl anymore. It's very questionable. Yeah. But the way that they've kind of done it is, I feel like they've never treated her fairly at all throughout the entirety of the show. The entirety of the show, they've kind of treated her like shit, and now they've like ramped it up to 11 with how badly they're treating this person, and they're creating their own supervillain at this point.
Pretty much, it's yeah. Anyway, So
they're getting all the aliens.
No, they're getting on the ship. Lena, despite the fact that she hates everybody on the Supergirl team, she says, yeah, duh, the world's ending. I fucking hate you guys, but the world's ending. I hate you. I don't hate literally everybody else, and I like living, so here we go. But anyway,
being alive.
So they build a transmatter portal, and then we have Oliver. We have a couple interesting scenes with Oliver. One, where he brings Mia, his daughter, from the future in, and he decides now, this is it, Crisis here, and he decides to pass the mantle on of Green Arrow to her, and he gives her her own costume, and she's hesitant. She's like, no, I can't do what you do, and she's like, you've earned it.
Isn't she Black Star? Isn't that her
code
name?
That's what she was called in last season of Arrow when we first got introduced to the character before we found out she was Oliver and Felicity's daughter. She hasn't gone by that name since last season. Everyone just calls her...
They pull it back, because that's a badass name.
Yeah.
Black Star, that's fucking awesome. What a great name.
Now, this is, of course, to set up for the fact that she's getting her own spin-off show with Laurel and Dinah, the two Canaries. It's literally going to be called Green Arrow and the Canaries.
Okay, so she's taking on the mantle.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, for her own show that she's getting.
Okay.
I'm a little cautious about that because I did not like Mia at all last season. I just thought she was such a basic, broody character. This season, her interactions with Oliver has helped her elevate her more as a character. I still don't know if she's got it to lead a show on her by herself. And I want to make this clear.
But I think that's why Laurel and Dinah are going to be there, is to kind of be the support that she needs to I think to elevate her character up a little bit more.
Yeah. And I want to say that I'm not against Kat McNamara, who plays the character. I always want to make that kind of stuff clear because as I said before many times in the past.
Super capable.
Yeah. Just because I don't like a character doesn't mean I have something against the actor. I did not like Rose Tico from The Last Jedi. I have nothing against Kelly Marie Tran, and fuck everybody who harassed her online for that shit. I've said that before. I'll say it again. So I want to make that shit clear.
Yeah, I just didn't like her character.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the character kind of sucks. Like hate the character, but don't go after the actors.
Right.
Right? Like the actors did the best that they could. Maybe the writing was bad or the direction that they got was bad. And in Star Wars Last Jedi, I think we can empirically agree that her character was just really badly written.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
just totally unnecessary. But anyway, that's
Yeah,
a
but
weird.
anyway.
But I agree. I think when they introduced her in season 7, she did very much seem like a let's just go beat everybody up kind of character. And now it's like, but that was because she had daddy issues, and now she's like facing those issues and coming face to face with them, and has really developed as a character a whole lot. And I also hope that with this new show that she's getting, that they don't stop using William, because I really like his dynamic with her too.
I'll be very surprised if William and Connor are not in the series.
Yeah, they're great. I love like the three of them playing off of each other is really fun. Like this season especially, it's just been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope that they don't. Lose
I haven't been as pissed off at the flash forwards as much as I hated the flash forwards last. Because first we started with William, and we're with William for so long, and then Mia comes in, and then Mia just kind of takes over, and William takes a back seat. And like, wait, why are we developing him so much? If he starts like, and I like William, and I listen, Mia's gotten better, but I was like, oh my god, this is so dumb.
Yeah, I feel like they just didn't develop her character until this season, and now that they did develop her character, like I like where she's at. Like,
I'm feeling a little better. I'm
Yeah.
not confident, but I'm feeling better. And then after that scene, we have Oliver going to go talk to Barry, aka the Flash, and Flash tells him, "Hey, listen, the Monitor told me I'm to sacrifice myself to save the multiverse in this crisis." And Oliver gets pissed and demands a meeting with the Monitor.
Yeah.
And the Monitor and he's like, "I made a deal. I go on those missions and I sacrifice myself so Barry and Kara can live." And the Monitor's like, "Our agreement was to save them in what was happening last year. I saved them from the Elseworlds crisis. It was not about what they were going to happen now. This needs to happen, Oliver, whether you like it or not." The
Just
Flash.
like, what a shitty technicality from the Monitor, right? Like, I kind of looked at that moment and I was just like, dude, you're kind of a dick right now. Like, I get it. The universe is collapsing and everybody fucking needs to play their part, but at least keep up your end of the bargain. You know, like at least like you were supposed to save Barry and Kara, and you did, and now it's like, oh, Barry's just gonna die, and Oliver's also gonna die. Like, what the fuck? What a dick! I felt like that was such a dick move.
I totally saw it coming. I totally knew that was going to happen because we all know the Flash is going to. Because the whole thing about Flash's character arc for the first half of his season so far is about him preparing for crisis, and then he's going to die, and there's nothing he can do about it. So I knew they were going to work some way around it where it was like, because people were saying, like, wait, the Monitor. I totally knew he was going to throw that in his face. Well, that was last year, man.
Yeah.
We made a deal last year.
What we don't know is that before he became the Monitor, he was actually their universe's premier corporate lawyer. He just knows how to spin the fucking words.
I'm very good. 1-800-MONITOR. I'm Marnovool. Do you need to get represented out of something that's totally going to fuck up? Let me help you.
Do you need to double cross somebody? Do you need to make them feel like a real piece of shit for their sacrifice?
Not only will I get you what you deserve, I will take your child from the future to right now so you can see them grown up. Little bonus. But so all that aside, so finally the big battle happens.
Yeah.
The Monitor has sent in his shadow demons, which, can I say something about the shadow demons? I didn't expect them to look fantastic, but they are so nebulous. I cannot tell what they look like because they're literally just like, I wasn't expecting it. They're like,
they were so fucking lame.
Yeah. And they get taken out so easy. Like, I don't want to diss on Oliver and Mia, but a simple arrow can kill these things.
Not even a specialty arrow. They just had to fucking Robin Hood it, and they were just like, "Oh, we're done." Like, what the fuck are these things?
And it's so bad. It's like, I can barely tell what they look like. And this is like the big crossover. So I'm expecting like a really better than average CGI budget for them and all that stuff, but not so much.
Which let's be honest, like they do have a really good CGI budget for this crossover. It's just like they didn't spend a lot of it on the fucking dark. What is it? The parademons?
Shadow demons.
Yeah, like I was just like, this is it.
Yeah. No.
What is this?
To be fair, in the comic books, they're not drawn with a lot of definition, but there's certain things you can get away with in a 2D format that you can't get away with in a 3D format.
Yeah,
all right?
I get it.
Because I can't even tell you what their faces look like. Like,
No, that was the thing. Is just they were just like these ominous blobs, and I
Yeah.
get that that's kind of what they're supposed to be. But I felt like at least they would pose a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's just like I guess.
it's the challenge that they're in extremely large numbers.
Yeah.
On an individual basis, like, I feel like William could take one out. Like, he just throw his iPad at one and it would explode.
Yeah, right. Well, then the explosion would take like 10 other ones
Yeah.
along with it. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
a fucking light breeze can take these things out.
Right.
Like it's just like you find a Costco sale on, you know, like bad guys.
Yeah,
and it was
'cause you
just
see, like,
that's what you fucking got.
We got a 50-pack for only $6. It was quite the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like you went to Dollar General to buy your fucking Stooges. Like, come on.
Can you see Superman and Supergirl using their heat vision to take him out? I just felt like they could just like use their breath and take out 20 of them at once. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
like what a waste of energy to.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point of it, but I felt like I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. It's like you got it's like zombies. One zombie is a problem. It's not a big problem. Horde of zombies. Now we got it.
Sure,
Like
now
it's
yeah.
the strength numbers. But anyway,
Yeah.
so they're fighting. But eventually the quantum tower fails and the antimatter wave is coming, and the Earth 38 is fucked. So Monitor starts flashing people out of there.
Yeah.
Canary, the Atom, Flash, he's bouncing away and sending them to Earth 1 so they can regroup and come up with a new strategy. But
Oliver stays behind.
Oliver stays
to
behind
make
because
sure
he's
that
like-
everybody's safe.
yeah, because not
Yeah.
everyone's off the planet yet. And he even shoots like some kind of arrow at the Monitor, which stuns him. And I was like, wait, how's this working? He's a cosmic being. It's kind of explained in part 2 a bit, kind of.
Oh, because his power is like waning.
His powers are
Yeah,
waning.
yeah.
Every
Yeah.
universe that gets destroyed, his powers wane.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the
Which
Monitor-
was kind of the thing that was happening in the comic books, and they took their time to like talk about what the fuck that was all about
Yeah.
in the comic books.
Not here, just
Yeah.
like this is what's going on. So anyway, Oliver
Yeah.
does that, and he's the last one behind. And then eventually, boom, the antimatter wave comes in, wipes out Earth 38, just
Yeah.
wipes it. Supergirl's planet,
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
But they regroup on Earth 1, aka the Earth of Arrow, Flash, Legends, all the other heroes.
The Arrow Cave.
Yeah. In the Arrow Cave, or the Quiver, as Harley Quinn called it in the comics one time, which.
Oh, is that the unofficial name for it?
Well, yeah, it's this cute little comic panel where Harley's hanging out with Arrow and Black Canary in
The Quiver.
yeah, and she's just like, why don't you just call it the Quiver? And Green Arrow's like, that's actually a really good idea. We should just rename it the Quiver. But anyway, so we see everyone gets teleported back to the bunker, as it's called in the show, and Oliver is teleported back on a bed, and he's messed up. He's covered in blood, bruises, and he's dying, and he does. We see he says his goodbyes to Barry and Kara, says like, I sacrificed so you guys could save everything. He says, tell me, like, Mia, I love you. Keep me in your heart. Tell your mom and your brother I love them. And he dies. He dies in the first episode.
Yeah, which I was like, no.
Right?
I was like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, what the fuck, you guys? It's like,
Because we knew he was going to die. We knew he was going
Yeah,
to die because it's the last season of Arrow, and because of what was set up with the Monitor, that he had to sacrifice himself.
well, and the way that season 7 ended too is like they kind of set up the whole thing of like, oh, Felicity is going to meet, Oliver somewhere, and in the future and everything. So it's like, but then it's like he dies in the first. I was just like, there's no fucking way that they're just gonna, off this guy in the first episode. Like,
It was
no way.
very shocking, which I think is what they wanted. They want a shocking ending to part 1. Something to shock you.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah. So something's up.
I'm just
Something's
gonna-
up, people.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Okay. Are you ready?
So let's do part 2.
Yeah.
Man.
Was there anything else you want to say about part 1 before we move on?
No, I thought,
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
I think we covered, yeah.
Okay. So
Your
moving on.
notes are super thorough, by the way. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like I don't want to show it. Like I got show it to like the audience.
Which
Oh no, it's not coming up on the monitor.
Yeah, it's gonna get all scrambled.
Fuck it, it's all scrambled.
But it's very thorough notes.
Yeah, it got scrambled just like George Bush's tie. Anyway.
Oh,
Call back.
Here
Wait,
we
no,
go.
what? I didn't say anything. No, you were the political guy earlier. No, that's not a callback. Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream over on Facebook. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe and check out some more videos.